Hello, everybody, and welcome to this new looking set we've got here for the Whether News Happens or Not show, and we're joined by Katelynn. She's here. She hasn't been on the show since 2020.
Has it really been?
Yeah, like physically on the episode or on the show, period. You've not physically been here since 2020. She was
physically been here since last episode.
Yes. We filmed that yesterday. Y'all probably have already seen it by now. If y'all haven't already, go check it out. We did the Try Not to Laugh challenge, me and Dawson did, and it was a lot of fun. Dawson actually won that because of a gay horse joke. Dawson won because of a gay horse joke. Can you exit out of that? Close it out. Just close it out. And thing came up on my computer. Okay, so, but yeah, we did that, and I lost to a gay horse joke that Dawson told me. You can go watch that in a few minutes, or actually, if you get done watching this, go watch that video. Once again, go watch the new Star Wars video that we did. I'm going to keep saying that until we make another one, until we make another film.
It was so much fun to do.
Go watch that. It's the first one that Katelynn has been a part of, really been a part of this year. So go check that out. And also go check out the TikTok film that Katelynn hasn't even seen yet. Katelynn hasn't even watched it. Calling her out. Yeah, we were calling her out off camera anyways. So, but as you can tell, we've got a new setup here.
Ta-da.
And I'm going to do some magic right here. We can cut to this camera. And then we're going to cut to Dawson's camera. And then we're going to cut to my camera again. See, we've got multiple cameras. This is insane. I've always wanted to do this. And we've actually talked about wanting to do multiple cameras. But we finally have got multiple angles. I've got my angle that I'm looking at right now. And then we've got the wide shot, which is right here. And then Dawson and them's angle is right there. And this is a legit thing. You know, we got two mics. Dawson's and mine. Yeah, we actually had to go get two more tripods just for the cameras.
Yep.
But yeah, we've got this new setup. It's gonna be either Dawson and Katelynn on that side, or me, or Dawson and me, or whoever. We talked about this in the last episode that we might get more people here on the show. But today we're doing a little test run here with this set. Is mostly what this episode's about, but it's also, we just got back from watching the new Hunger Games film. The Hunger Games, the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, and we're going to talk about that for a little bit in this episode today. You're going to hear all of our thoughts about the film. We will mention when we get to spoilers. I'll say that when we get there. When we get to the spoiler part of it, which probably fairly quickly, because that's how we usually talk about stuff. Yeah, spoiler warning now.
Don't watch this.
Very, very quick. But before we get into spoilers of any kind, out of 10, what would you rate it, Dawson? So people don't have to...
I would give it like an 8.5 or like a 9.
Okay, would you recommend people go watch this film?
Yes.
Okay, Katelynn?
I'm about the same with him, too.
Okay.
I was thinking about it as he was thinking of it. I was like, I wouldn't say it's like a 10.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's not anything in that one that's going to blow me out of the water.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's pretty good.
There's some stuff that's like, okay. But, you know, whatever.
Yeah. I honestly would probably give it a 9, just because of how... And we'll talk about this later on, how real it feels than the other ones. We also will probably talk about the other Hunger Games movies, because why not? We'll talk about all of them, because we've all seen all of them.
Yep.
The only franchise that I can think of that we've seen every single one of them besides Harry Potter. And so we might do an episode of that. We might talk about those. Maybe. And then yeah, and then they're gonna force me to watch Twilight, and then we're gonna sit here and we'll talk about that. Yay. So spoilers now. If y'all want to go see it, go check it out. It's great. Now we're getting into spoilers because I wanted to do a little bit of a go watch it. But now we're going into the spoiler section of it. What'd you like about the film, Dawson?
There's a lot of realistic aspects of it too, but one thing that I was telling them, I don't know which camera to look at.
This one.
That one.
Okay.
Yeah. This one.
We're just talking here. But this is kind of one of those things. My favorite part is like one of the things that the movies did is because it's based off of the book is like what we talked about, the different chapters.
Mhm.
It has like chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. My favorite part is chapter 3 because it's the whole chapter called the Peacekeepers, and it's when Snow gets sent off and he has to join the rank of the Peacekeepers, and then a bunch of other crap goes down. But I don't know, it was a lot more darker.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it is set way back
Mhm.
before any of that, and so they didn't have all the stuff that they have in the
Yeah.
original ones. Did you dislike anything from it?
Mm, one thing which I know you read something about it that it makes sense now, but I
Yeah.
wish they actually touched up on it in the film because
Mhm.
if you didn't read the book, you wouldn't understand. But it's like how I was saying, I don't like the fact that she was from District 12 and she won, but in the other ones they say that there's never been a District 12 winner.
Mhm.
But and you don't see that in the movie, they don't touch up on that. It's just she wins, but you read something that in the books it actually states that her records were wiped
Yeah.
from all of it. So
Yeah.
Figured as much.
that
Yeah.
makes sense. The fact of why they still say that there hasn't been a winner is her whole records of everything has been wiped.
Yeah, I read a little thing on Wikipedia to Dawson when off camera, and it said that all of the footage from that Hunger Games is gone, and they basically just wiped it all, and she was never heard from or seen again. And that's also makes sense why in the other movies that she's never mentioned at all.
Yeah.
At all, period. So it makes a lot of sense, but it also helps the fact of like different aspects of what she does, like the hanging tree, and he gets
Mhm.
all haunted by that is because of her, and you don't know that though until you watch this movie. But
I feel like it's that and because of his friend too.
yeah, I think it's a lot of I mean, really towards the end of that movie, he basically has nothing to live for
Yeah.
at that point. I mean, it makes the total sense in the world why he'd freak out and do all that stuff.
I like the setting of it too, which it's like what we're talking about is like dystopian, utopian kind of world. Because like a lot of the stuff in it, like the train, like
Yeah.
the front of the train, like the different looks and stuff, kind of reminds me of the game Fallout.
Oh
with
yeah.
stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it reminds me of Fallout if it didn't become an apocalyptic world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Everything. So I've always liked that, and then of course I like the whole concept of that because we talked about making films and that kind of world,
Yeah.
and I guess we'll talk about that here in a little bit too.
Yeah, we did the Hunger Games film,
We did the Hunger Games
which is set way after this movie. Actually, it's in a whole different universe. Snow
Yeah,
doesn't
so-
exist. So,
You know.
Snow, Katniss, none of them exist. It's just our little Hunger Games thing. But still, if it was to exist in the Hunger Games thing, it takes place way past
Yeah.
the whole Snow thing. Snow's already dead at this point.
Dead.
Snow's already dead.
150.
Yeah, I think we said it was the first annual. Yeah, I think we said it was the first. So like we made it like our own thing, even though Finnick's in it from the books and the
And Flicker.
movies. Well, that's Micro Whitewater.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, Flickerman's character, yeah, he kind of plays Flickerman's character more of that character than he does Stanley Tucci's character in the first three. But Caitlin, what do you like about it?
I just liked how like it made you feel something completely different in the sense of how the other movies were. So you in the first Hunger Games movies besides this one, you felt like you were one of the viewers. Like you were watching it just like everybody else. You were
Yeah.
experiencing everything just like everybody else.
Trios.
And he has left the set.
See ya.
Oh, okay.
Needs to go bathroom.
Oh, okay.
But in this one, you kind of feel more how everybody who is in the behind the scenes of the workings of the game are and everything. And you just kind of see more of like where it started to where it's grown to now, and it's absolutely insane. Like in this one, whenever they are in the what is the word I'm thinking of? Whenever they're all going into this one area and they're all fighting each other.
The arena?
Yes,
the arena. That's the word.
It's so like barbaric in a sense because it's literally fight each other, here's weapons, have at it. There is no strategy of like surviving or anything. They don't expect it to last longer than one day.
Yeah.
And it is insane of like how you feel about it and witnessing the growth of what it was beforehand, before Snow became involved with it, versus now. It's just like the development of everything.
I was thinking about that too, because in the film, it was like they get there. First of all, they get there all on the same train, and then they get dumped out into this like little zoo area.
Yeah, and that's in the book.
Yeah, where like you can come and look at them. But what I thought was crazy is like from that to the games itself was like a 3-day period.
Yeah.
But like in the Hunger Games movies, when everything's built up, it's like weeks.
Yeah, it takes a long time to get to that
Before the
point.
games actually happen, because they're doing all the like the promotion things, the like
Training.
the training,
Yeah.
the modeling,
Yeah.
all the other stuff, and like all the interviews, and they get up to it, and then they finally have the games, which was in this one. It was like they're there, okay, this is what it looks like. Go kill each other. Like
It's very straight to the point, no buffering and everything. And then, as you see throughout the movie, more spoilers, is what Snow ended up putting into the Hunger Games from then on.
Yeah.
Is just a completely night and day difference, and it's just absolutely.
You get to see all of that. All of the stuff that Snow put into the Hunger Games is in this. I think it's crazy though, because you get to see like the capital more than anything else in the entire. Because with the other three, you don't. And that was the thing that I noticed when I was watching reviews on it. That was one thing somebody said was you get to see more of the capital than anything else. And I will say, please don't wear the skirt again. I hated that. You'll see it in the movie. He wears a skirt, and it's really weird looking.
It's more of a very, very long tunic. Like, there is still pants. There is like a whole gap on the side, but it does look like a skirt in some shots. I will agree on that.
It was a very very dumb skirt. I remember y'all watched the Hunger Games movies like pretty much when they came out, right? It took me a while because I didn't watch the first Hunger Games until I think a year or two after we did our Hunger Games film. So
I watched the first Hunger Games in theaters.
Yeah,
I watched all of them in theaters.
Yeah, and so I'm behind. I'm the most behind. But yeah, I watched that one. I think during COVID or something. My mom and them watched every single one of them, but I couldn't. What's hilarious is the first one that I ever watched was the third one, the first part of the third one, and I had no idea what was going on. So it was great. But those movies are great too. This one is like I said, it's the most real. It's the most intense. Literally, there's somewhat of a crucifixion in the film, which is even more crazier. It's more realistic in the sense of they use actual weapons to kill people instead of in the newer ones where they have to like, I don't know, they use like technological stuff like the bees and the whatever. And
like in the newer ones, you like have some weapons that are still scattered around it, but like a lot of it too is the whole survival thing.
Yeah.
But
and this one, it was like the beginning of like the actual sponsor part of it, where you are getting some outside help in a sense.
The second one's way more intense than the first one, and I thought I like the second one, but I also think I know it's based off of the book, but I also kind of think in a way that it was kind of just like, oh, we're gonna bring everybody back, for this one. Like, oh, it's just an excuse to bring everybody back, you know, and then we're just gonna kill them anyways. You won, whatever.
Yeah,
I'm gonna put you back in there. But yeah, it was a pretty good film, I would say. Acting. What y'all think about the acting? We talked about that after the film was over.
I thought it was good.
Tom Blythe was like the best part.
Yeah, he did really good.
As Snow.
Honestly, the Peter Dinklage's character, that he didn't act as well as what he does in like some other stuff.
Yeah.
He was just kind of there.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't really, whenever it was his time to act, he wasn't doing a whole lot of like acting per se. But everybody else did good. There's some points in times where you'd watch people and it's just like they're just kind of there. But stand-ins are just kind of there to say something. But for the main people, I thought it was good. I'm still hung up on the end of Rachel Zegler's character of her just
dipping out
into a psychopath after he found the guns.
Yeah.
And I think it was one of those things where she kind of knew what he was and like how close he is with the Capitol. And then I guess it was kind of one of those hints because of the fact of when you saw the whole ordeal with his friend talking to those rebels, she shows up and the rebels actually know her and like is talking to her like she's a part of it, but she's kind of acting like suspicious. And then when she brings him to the cabin, there's like all these guns that's there. So I think it's one of those things that like she didn't really want him to find out that she was a part of the rebellion too.
Yeah.
And then he kind of got a little too close. She like kind of got weird, but
yeah, it was weird. That part, I will say, that whole part in general, like, oh yeah, let's get away together, and then she's like, peace. she just gets out of there. It's just very weird.
I feel very similar to you in some of those situations, but I feel like what kind of took a turn of what they were actually, what her plan was with him at one point was whenever they were all hanging out at the lake and swimming around, and that little bit of conversation they were having that one time kind of put something in her head, and then, like, of course, when you plant a seed, it grows.
Yeah.
Then all of her thoughts of connecting everything started to happen. Like, of course, those rebels and stuff would know her. She's from District 12. She shows her face every. Yeah. Like, everybody would know her before and after the whole Hunger Games itself. But she just started to realize, like, what was really going on and what she was getting herself into, I think, once she saw how he handled the situation with the rebels and with his friend getting it.
I think he should have realized it whenever she was like, yeah, I'm going to go north, and I'm just coming here to tell you goodbye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he was like, I'm going to come with you. I'm like, do you really think that's a smart idea? She didn't even say she wanted you to go with him.
Like, he was so back and forth of what he truly wanted to do. Like, do you want to help your family, or do you want to run off with this random girl that you just all of a sudden, like, grew a trauma bond with and was like, I'm going to take care of you, but F you, we'll just ruin everything.
You saved my life, I've saved your life, I can't let you go.
Yeah,
I can't let you go.
Yeah. But going to the whole comment of what you were saying of, like, oh, like, it kind of felt like a contradiction in a sense until we actually watched the movie and looked into it a little bit more of how Katniss was like the first winner for District 12. It's because I feel like it ended up being like a disqualification because they did cheat.
Yeah.
So regardless of what the relationship between her and Snow would have happened at the end of the day, they would have swiped that regardless.
Anyways,
because of the
cheating, yay.
With the rat poison and
why
would you use family heirlooms? Like, you're dumb. You are so
rat
dumb.
Poison.
Literally.
Oh.
It tells you how deadly rat poison is.
That's another thing.
I'll tell you that.
You saying the whole family heirlooms thing reminded me of, but like the whole thing about her leaving too is like, why didn't you just like leave? Just you were peacing out anyways. You were just free to go. Why didn't you just leave? But no, she left his mom's scarf on the ground with a snake in it just to kill him.
Yeah, that was.
First, she's gotta make a grand exit.
She made a grand exit, right?
I thought it was also weird that he was like, oh, well, why don't you want to go to the Covey? Still find me. You wanted to go back to them in the first place, man. Like, what do you mean? You wanted to go back. Don't give me that crap. Like, just don't.
It just still, like, blows my mind that he, like, fell in love with her in the way that he did.
Hey, it tells you that he falls in love quickly. Well, not anymore, but...
Well, not anymore. He lost his soul after that.
Yeah, after he shot into the sky.
Yeah.
Like a maniac.
The birds were her singing, basically. So
that probably would have made me lose my mind,
that angry.
Shut up! I liked her! Stop it! I liked her. Now I gotta go get on a boat and go home.
No, I gotta hide all the guns and all the evidence in water because that definitely solves all of
They go in the. That would have been funny if they, like, in the newer ones, which they didn't, they go into the river and they find those guns. They're still there and they're like, what are these?
Hey, this is a peacekeeper symbol on the butt of this.
Wow! Does it still work? Oh my gosh. But yeah, that was pretty cool. The peacekeeper part.
Oh, I love that whole part.
Yeah, the fact that you get to find out that he was a peacekeeper is even more interesting because they don't say that in the original movies. They show it in this one, and it's like, oh, he was like in there. He like knew, and
That's
so
the cool thing. I don't know. I just love the whole scene of like him becoming a peacekeeper, and I guess it's just because the whole thing that goes back to me doing the different video things too. But I like the whole concept of the whole with some things like the either like the forbidden friendship or like the forbidden love thing, because like it's like, okay, well, you get you get like a weekend off to help for morale or whatnot.
Yeah.
And then you get all these soldiers that are in there just partying, and there he is finding himself with the girl that he liked. But
yeah,
they can't really be around each other because she's a part of like this district, and she's also a part of the rebels, and then he's a part of the peacekeepers and the military.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, I always liked that and the whole stuff like that. But I like the fact that he went from a political student to the very bottom of being a private in the military force, and then being brought up again.
I mean, it's like that woman said, like the Dr. Gall said, like he went everywhere. Like he knows everything about like the whole Pan Am and everything. So he would be the best person to really take over it. But
what is so
crazy
funny
stuff.
to me, because they'll say that and they're like, "Oh, you've been all over it," and it's like same thing with the other Hunger Games movies too, where it's like, "Oh, District 12, this, that, and the other." There's like 11 more districts. Like
He's seen the world.
Like, yeah.
He's seen the world,
There's
guys.
11
Come
more
on.
districts. I mean,
You just go to one and you know all of them.
You're
At that
fine.
point, you're good.
Whatever.
You are a-okay.
That's like moving, like, or going to visit to Florida, and you're like, oh yeah,
Yep.
I have seen the
That's
entire
it.
world.
Seen everything.
You're good.
I did like how they put
Such a universal person.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Donald Sutherland's line that he says,
Oh,
if
yeah.
you love someone so much, it'll like destroy you. And I
Yeah.
was like, that line, I forgot that he said that in the movies, and that really like fits with the whole story because he loved someone so much that it destroyed him. So, but just think about that, guys. At home, if you're watching this, if you love someone so much, well, it might destroy you, and that's basically what he's saying.
Ta-da.
Because that is what happened to him in this film. It very much destroyed him. Yeah, it's sad. There's always like those little dynamics like you were talking about where, oh, the rebel person really likes the person that's in the place that no one should like. Like kind of like Leia and Han in Star Wars and stuff like that. So
oh man, just the whole concept of like the forbidden friendship or like the forbidden love thing, it goes back to like
Romeo and Juliet.
It always goes back to Romeo and Juliet with the whole
except they kill each other.
star-crossed thing. Well, they don't really kill each other, but
they kill themselves. Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah,
but
for love.
For love.
But it's like the same thing with like how I do with the Sir Gavin character.
Yeah.
The knight and the princess, and like that's a big ordeal too.
Well, and in The Calling.
In The Calling.
The Calling, you do that too.
And like I did that story because one, it's the whole ordeal. But when you think about those kind of stories, and you think, oh, the knight and the princess, and it's like, oh, it's such a fairy tale. Everything's fine and dandy. I did my story the way I did it because of the fact of these two groups were not allowed to be with each other.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it's never been like, oh, the princess and the knight. Oh, I would like to find my knight in shining armor kind of ordeal. That didn't happen. Like if you were royalty, you were chosen a suitor. Like you had to go with other royalty. That's why I did the story I did. And then of course Lachelle Rain wrote a book on my character and actually wrote the story out and whatnot. I know me and Trace talked about us
doing an episode of it. Yeah,
but it goes more in depth. But I don't. It's cool. It's just kind of a cool concept because it's not supposed to be that way. But it's cool to see like how it goes.
Yeah,
with that way. You're kind of like,
what? What? I will say that the guy who plays the Janus was like my second favorite. That guy, I did say to Dawson while we were watching the movie that I thought that at first that some of the especially in that the reaping scene, I thought a lot of the actors were taking it too seriously. Like the acting was just way too serious. Like it looked like a bunch of people our age trying to act in a big budget thing and like taking it way too seriously. But then as it goes along, it's better because all those other kids aren't really a part of it anymore. But still, yeah, I thought the acting at first was kind of way too serious in a way, and it took a little bit away. I was like, man, am I not gonna like this movie because they're acting too serious?
Right.
Like they think it's some freaking Netflix thing or something or whatever.
That's another thing I like. I like when movies when stuff like that happens, they give it like titles of like that where it's like the whole taking away the kids and this, that, and stuff. They call it the reaping.
Yeah.
I like the little title stuff because like they do that in like a bunch of other movies too.
Maze Runner, they do that with
Maze Runner.
I forgot what they called the Scorch and something another. Yeah, the Scorch. Yeah.
Star Wars with Order 66, they call it the Purge.
Yeah.
I mean, stuff like that. I think
or like Order 66 and all that stuff. Yeah.
Even in our Dungeons and Dragons film, my character he deals with something like that. I think it's called the Great Purge.
Yeah, the Great Purge.
Which is with the Mystic Knight Order.
Which we did do a thing about that, and we talked about it.
Go check it out.
We did talk about that. Here's a question on the Hunger Games topic. Out of all of the 5 movies that they've done, which one is the favorite? List them off.
My favorite one's Catching Fire.
Okay, and why is that?
It's a little bit more in depth, and also you have Finnick in there, and I actually really like Finnick.
Yeah, Dawson did play Finnick in ours,
and his character's very sassy.
Yeah, for sure, and he always most likely has a shirt off in most scenes.
Yeah,
but but it's like I like the whole concept of the jungle too.
Yeah.
It wasn't just like this little woods kind of area that was in the regular one. And you got to see how they change up the arena every single games that they do. But the storyline was pretty good, and I like the fact that the stakes were higher.
Yeah.
With it, like the fact of right before she goes into the games, her dresser person dies.
Yeah. As she's going up.
Yeah, she's going up to kill him because he was trying to help her.
Mm-hmm.
And stuff like that. The stakes were a little bit higher.
Yeah.
Because more things were happening, and then
you really knew the characters at that point.
Yeah, because it was like a second go around because they're noticing a lot of push and like rebellion on like the victor's parts. So they were like, you know what? Let's just humble y'all real quick.
Yeah, let's just shrink you down to size. I think we can all agree that the second one is the best one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we have any different least favorite ones.
My least favorite one's going to be the last 2.
So just the 2 in general?
The Mockingjay movies, yeah.
Is one part better than the other part?
Mockingjay Part 1 is better.
Okay.
The reason being is because they got the hanging tree scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that scene is so... I love it because of the fact of... It kind of goes back to the whole thing, like how I talk about with like different films, and like with our Daenerys film that we come up with.
Yeah.
And like talking, and like she hears me talk about it all the time about like with the Roman Empire and stuff, is the sheer fact of like a group of people proving that they have excessive force.
Yeah.
And they can use it.
There goes your dam.
Yeah. It's just the same. It's like the whole ordeal with the whole like, you've got a bunch of people, and like I get it, the whole momentum of the whole rebellion thing, and like that's why I always talk about with like Star Wars. People are like, oh, the underdogs, they're fighting the Empire. First of all, the rebels are a group of terrorists.
Yeah.
Like,
like the definition of it.
Like that's what they are. Like before, like Luke and Leia and Han, like I get it, the whole heroic side, the whole heroic story side of it, but the rebellion is a group of terrorists. And whatnot. But like even in this, with the same thing, it's like you got the whole rebellion side. Like, oh, they're gonna rebel, and in this whole scene, you got the whole her singing the hanging tree, and you see like within the different factions of like these people trying to rebel, and it just does not work.
Yeah.
Like you got a bunch of people with pitchforks running up against a bunch of guys with AR-15s.
Yeah. Yeah.
In body armor.
Yeah. And like a whole slew of things.
What did you think was gonna happen?
Yeah, for real.
Like that was the whole ordeal with the woods. It's like you got these people and they like try to run around. They're like, "Oh yeah, we'll get up in the woods," and they're just like,
"Where are they at?"
And they just start shooting them all, and it's like,
I don't know what y'all
did y'all expect to happen? Like,
I would say, the second part is probably the worst one. Just because it's not very memorable with the other ones.
Well,
the ending's great. I like the ending of it.
Well, it's like what I said earlier. Is whenever we were off camera and whatnot, but I know they had to end it somehow.
Yeah.
But I feel like the ending that what they made it to is like it takes away from the actual kind of story of it.
It's kind of fairy tale ending-ish because her and PETA have kids and then they live happly ever after.
But it's like
and everyone's dead.
Everyone's dead.
You know?
But like,
hey, just remember that.
It takes away from the whole story of it. And I remember in Mockingjay Part 2 when watching it, or no, it was in the first one. It was at the end of the first one. Mm-hmm. So it was when they were going in to save PETA.
Yeah.
And like Liam Hemsworth's character and like all these other people in like black tactical suits with night vision start coming down a helicopter. I'm like, is this Bravo Team 6? What's happening? Like,
yeah, y'all were supposed to be a very poor district and everything.
Yeah.
Like, where did they come from?
In the prequels, they'd be poor.
Yeah, they're flying out of this black helicopter with like AR-15s and night vision. They're like sneaking around corners and taking people out. I'm like,
yeah, I always thought that was funny when Mahershala Ali comes into the movies and they're all like a group of people like going to save whatever. I always thought that was like a whole different movie than the rest of it.
Like,
yeah,
because it feels like a war movie.
Well,
kind of goes
the first two feel like the Hunger Games. The second film feels like Hunger Games Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Basically. Really?
Yeah.
I mean, or like Sicario on drugs with Hunger Games.
Well, I mean, that's what it is. Like, it goes into like a war movie, and it feels like something completely different than what they were doing. Yeah. Then you also got the whole scene with like Pym being there, being a nurse and helping people out, and then that's his name, Gale.
Yeah, Gale, yeah.
And then Gale like accidentally kills her. Bombs.
Oops. Bomb, this won't go off at all.
So I mean, it turns into something like completely different. Than
Well, I guess when you're trying to adapt a whole book into two parts, it kind of becomes. No, but they did it with Harry Potter, so I really don't.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's a lot of different things.
I mean, at the end of the day, from book to movie, they are missing so many more details. Yeah. But you already understand the character development in a more visual aspect, so you don't need that much of that type of detail at the end.
There's more in books than there are in movies, because you can't really put like in, for example, you can't I've read the first part of that, and it's so in detail that you can't even put any of that into it. Yeah, because
it's creating the image for you for a movie. It is already created.
You read 2 pages and there's a scene right there. Literally. Yeah, and there it is.
I started reading the Harry Potter series, and that up until maybe the last 50 to 100 pages, that was the first, I want to say, 45 minutes, if not hour into the movie, of the first movie.
Wow. Wow.
It covered so much, but you're getting more information of what it was before, major events and everything else.
And we talked about the Hunger Games are different, in tone. The first two are different than the last two. Harry Potter's the same way. It goes from the first.
You age with them as you go on through those books. The first book, I finished it in a week, very quickly, and it's maybe 200-300 pages or whatnot. Versus as you literally can just sit there and look at those books, and you can tell how much more serious it's going to get into, because it is a tried and true war.
Well, the first 4 movies are kid-ish films, and
Yeah.
then you get after Goblet of Fire, it's like, oh, we're serious now. Like right when he meets Voldemort, it gets serious.
Yeah.
Like right after that, you're like, oh man, fifth movie, we're getting down to business here.
Anyways, back to Hunger Games.
But yeah, I was giving a comparison.
Yes, yes.
We might do an episode of that really
I
quick.
was so lost because I was trying to look something up and then I was focused. And then when I honed back into the situation, all I heard was Voldemort. And I said, I could have swore we were talking about Hunger Games.
I know. But I was just explaining, comparing the Hunger Games to that.
So, what I just looked up because I was curious with it, did you know that Pan Am, which is the area that
America, yeah.
it's based off of America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's based off of like a futuristic America.
Yeah.
And I just looked up at maps of it and whatnot.
It's the shape of the United States of America.
Yeah, it's just
Videos of like people drawing lines on the United States of like these are like the perfect districts. Like you would be in this district. Like
Yeah,
us
this
would
is-
be 12.
no, we're 11.
What?
Yeah.
Let me see, what?
So
Oh yeah, we're like 12. Yeah,
Okay.
in the movie they show it on like the North
Mhm.
Carolina side.
Mm-hmm.
so it's pretty cool because
Yeah.
it's like if the
That'd be-
water rose a little bit, like took
That'd
over
be
America.
interesting. You should look up what district that is and see what ours would be
Okay.
because we live right there
Mm-hmm.
in that district. See what kind of people we'd be, folks.
Hunger Games District 11.
Oh, we're right next to District 12. Ooh.
Agriculture.
That makes a lot of sense. That really fits. Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
Our
Not with
district
Florida,
is
but
known as the people that are in the rebellion.
awesome, cool.
Our color for our district is cocoa brown.
That's a horrible color. That is
Uh,
awful.
Hey, you know what chocolate is, right? No, you don't, because you starve.
It's also the color of what's in your toilet. That's not a great color to have at all.
District 12 is a combination of Alabama, Kansas, Georgia, Louisiana, Mississippi, Oklahoma, Florida, and North Carolina.
That's a lot. Yeah. I didn't even know. I remember when we did the film, the Hunger Games film. We might talk about that in a minute. But some of that for a little bit. But I didn't even know they had colors. I remember we picked out like Maddie and Hope and Mason and all them. They picked out the districts like that we wanted to be in, and I didn't even know they had colors. I just thought that they were
I
like
didn't either.
different things. But Cocoa Brown, who picked that, man?
There's a whole Hunger
They should have just picked
Games
gray.
Wikipedia page.
That's not surprising. Probably have one for.
Right
They
now.
probably have Maze Runner and Harry Potter and
yeah.
creepypasta stuff,
their
like
thing.
creepy stuff. That's cool. Didn't we react to the Hunger Games on the channel?
Yes.
Like for the show? I thought we did. Go check that one out. We talked about that film a lot in that one.
Mhm. Yeah, I think y'all did.
Yeah, we had that one. We had the process of Maddie, Hope, Mason, myself, and Dawson picking district. Well, Dawson didn't really pick one because he was at Phoenix district, so he already had one. But we all had to pick one, and yeah, that was all in great fun.
Yeah, we did.
Okay, that's what I thought. I was trying to think of if we did or not, but that was like 5 or 6 years ago, almost, which is crazy. But yeah, I was just making the Harry Potter comparison because that literally is like the same.
I was so lost.
It's the same. It's the same thing,
When I
really.
zoned back in, I was like,
I mean, if you really think about it, it is the same thing. Like the first two Hunger Games are like, Hunger Games. The second one's like Call of Duty, or the two other ones are, and then Harry Potter, like the first four are like, oh, this is magical Harry Potter, and then you get to Goblet of Fire at the end, and you meet Voldemort, like this is not magical no more. Everyone
everybody's dead.
dies, and it's dark, and everything. It's like that with the Fantastic Beasts movies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the first
Kinda
and second one, and then the third one's like, what happened?
it's kind of one of the things is like with the it's like with Star Wars too.
Yeah.
When it first comes out, it's like, oh, this is like, because even George Lucas himself comes out. He's like, when I first made Star Wars, I made it for like an audience of like 12-year-olds and up.
Yeah.
And that's what it is.
Mhm.
Like, yeah, there's people dying, and like Obi-Wan gets cut in half, or
In half, yeah.
and then his uncle and aunt get burned alive.
Yeah.
Like that. So
I didn't even remember that until I watched it.
It's kind of one of those things, but and then it progressively gets like darker, and then you got the original trilogy, but of course you gotta remember what time period it was made in too.
In the 70s,
Yeah, and then you've got the prequel trilogy that was like the first one's like, oh okay, all right, yeah, and then it's like the second one's like, all right, oh boy, and then the third one's like, oh god,
oh no. Oh no!
Everybody's dying.
That's funny because if you watch them in the order of the episodes, you get to 3 and then it ends, and then you get into 4, and it's like, what happened? We're all dark, and then now we're all nice again.
But like the good thing now too is they made Rogue One. So
Yeah.
you go from Rogue One and they go straight into A New Hope, and it combines it because Rogue One the end of Rogue One takes place right before A New Hope. You see the Yavin 4 come down. I know you probably don't know what the hell I'm talking about, but you see the Yavin 4 come down, and then you stuff happens, and then it's the whole when you see the Imperial Star Destroyer chasing after it, and that goes into the New Hope. But even Rogue One, I always loved Rogue One. She didn't know what was going on.
I haven't
she
seen
wasn't
it yet.
paying attention through half of it anyways. But yeah, don't get her to watch anything.
Just bully me time.
Because you don't watch it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna leave the set, guys. No, this is their show now. No,
but it's kind of one of those things where Rogue One, I really liked it too. Because once again, you see the version of them being terrorists.
Yeah.
And then there's the Andor show.
Yeah.
That I really loved. A lot of people didn't like it because they're like, oh, it's boring. It's not this, that, and the other. I saw a picture the other day that was like, oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense. This is why a lot of people like the Ahsoka show or like some other shows is because you've got cinematic, and then you've got what's the word? It was like you got cinematic, and then you got some culture.
Yeah.
And it was like Andor was cinematic because you had these beautiful shots. You actually had like a big storyline. And then you got culture, which was like some of these other shows like Ahsoka and whatnot, where it's like lightsaber battles. Oh, you got this cameo, you've got this cameo, you've got this cameo, you've got this cameo.
Obi-Wan was definitely that way.
Yeah, and it was like Obi-Wan too, and it's just kind of one of those things. It's like you don't really got a story; you got a drop on names.
Yeah, it's like a nostalgia thing.
Yeah, it's a nostalgia thing where it's like a drop on names. Which in Andor, you had a story.
Yeah,
you had like a lot of stuff happening. And it's like it goes back with Andor. You get to see kind of the whole terrorist thing that I was talking about too.
Well, I mean, like in Obi-Wan, they try to slide in Darth Vader at any chance that they got, especially with Hayden Christensen in his face of Anakin all the time.
I mean, I love the Obi-Wan show, but
then they tried to slide in that woman in about every flashback, like she was a part of the other ones. Oh, it's like, where was she at?
Oh, Reva.
Yeah, Reva. See, she's so forgettable. I can't remember her name.
I don't think she should have been a part of the show.
No, she was just the added villain. Like they were trying to make Darth Vader not the bad guy. They made her the bad guy.
It's just one of those things. Is like, once again, that's what you get when you get a director that really doesn't care a whole lot about Star Wars. They just care about making something.
Or you just get people that don't they don't know anything about Marvel, DC, Star Wars, any of like franchise stuff, not just superhero things, but they just don't,
And that was honing it back into what this episode was about.
Yeah,
is that's actually one of the things that I was afraid of about the movie.
Yeah, was it wasn't going to be like Hunger Games.
Yeah, I was like, I feel like this is going to be some like culture bull crap, and they're just going to like.
In a way, like in some aspects of it, it was.
It was, but like it was in a way, but it was not like shoved in your face.
No, but it was there. You could tell.
It was sprinkled. It wasn't like, hey, this is what we're trying to push.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was.
Yeah, we could go on for like another 30 minutes about it.
Yeah, which is good.
Yeah, but we're not going to do that.
Which I'm glad that they didn't shove it in your face, because you can tell now with a lot of movies, they're trying to get away from the whole wokeism culture.
Some of them are not.
Some of them are not.
Like the Marvels. But,
But Marvel has now been pissed down the drain, so
They've been like that
And-
since they started doing the shows, I think.
And
Really.
then the only good show that they've come out with is Moon Knight so far.
It's true.
And
Even that one was woke in a way.
Yeah.
But it still was good.
It wasn't a show. It was like a little.
They're all miniseries. They're not even really like shows. They call them shows, but they're like limited series.
Did you see Werewolf by Night yet?
Mm-mm.
You should. It's really good.
I know they re-released it in color. I saw that on Halloween this year. They re-released it in color or something like that.
Well, that's kind of odd because like half the film is in like black and white, and then the other half of it is like in color.
I guess they kept that part in there. I think they were making the black and white parts.
There's like an actual reason for the whole black and white thing, so you know.
Well, I think they did that. They did the black and white parts and colored them, but they left the other part. I don't know. I didn't see it, but I will say we were talking about Star Wars a few minutes ago. I will say, I don't know if this is an unpopular opinion or not, but in the originals, they should have kept the other guy that wasn't there. That was Anakin and not Hayden Christensen at the end.
Oh yeah.
Because I watched it on Disney Plus, and I was like, this looks really fake.
Yeah.
And I was just like, and then I looked it up on YouTube, the original scene, and I'm like, I like this better.
Yeah.
Because it's the actual guy that was Darth Vader in the shot. That I've seen a lot of people like, oh, I like the original guy. Oh, I like Anakin being the new Anakin in there, and I'm like, I'd rather see the original because it's the original movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't know. But yeah, we watched the new Hunger Games movie. We might do a lot of these types of episodes in the future where we go watch a movie, talk about it. There's a lot of crazy ones that are set to come out.
We should do one of Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah, Five Nights at Freddy's. We all watched that the other. Yeah, we all watched that the other several weekends ago. We watched that. Actually, when we finished filming the Star Wars video, we watched it afterwards.
You guys should go watch.
Yeah, y'all should go watch that film. Great plug right there. But yeah, we watched Five Nights at Freddy's on Peacock. Yeah, they put it at theaters and on Peacock.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of movies coming out now, like Dune 2 will be coming out next March. The Wonka movie comes out at the end of this year.
I'm so excited for that one.
Yeah, the factory scene at the end of that trailer was crazy. I was like, whoa. I was like, all right, maybe it might be good.
But now the strike is over.
Yeah.
So a lot of more good things are going to be coming out. Hopefully.
They pushed back like so many.
There is maybe like 2 or 3 movies coming out maybe once a month, if that.
Yeah, that's true.
From what I kept up with.
Mm-hmm.
These are the movies that will be coming out.
I saw this little me.
That just sounds interesting to us, I guess.
I'm not gonna give all of them, but
yeah.
You got the second Aquaman.
Oh, that's gonna Mm-hmm.
You also got the second Joker.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, that's got Lady Gaga in it.
Don't really care about that.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like a musical.
And
yeah, I know it's weird.
This is supposed to come out. This is not really soon, but it's supposed to come out kind of soon. But in 2025, you've got the Batman Part 2 coming out.
Yeah.
Next year too, you got the Legend of the White Dragon, which has Jason.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Got Deadpool 3.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Coming out.
That feels like that one. Ever since the strike was happening, it feels like they pushed that one far back and back and back.
Yeah.
At this point, it's gonna have Kid Deadpool in it too.
And
Kid Deadpool.
I think so.
And then you got the Madam Web trailer.
Madam Web. Somebody said that looked like a short film. I saw that in the comment.
Yeah.
Somebody said that.
It does kind of look like that. The one Marvel movie that I am kind of excited for is the Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
Because it's like the Dark Avengers.
Yeah, the Dark Avengers.
Don't care about that Avengers. Avatar 3.
And every other Avatar.
Still.
That's supposed to come out.
Some movie called Rebel Moon.
Oh, that's the Zack Snyder's his sci-fi epic thing.
I still haven't even seen the...
they came out with a trailer for that. You should watch that, Rebel Moon.
I still haven't even seen the creator.
I haven't seen it yet either.
I want to watch it because it looks good.
Yeah, I've heard it's really good.
Gladiator 2.
Oh, yeah. After I watched Gladiator, I saw they're coming out with Gladiator 2, and I'm like, no way! Gladiator 2!
And Kung Fu Panda 4.
They're still making Kung Fu Pandas. That's crazy.
Oh, and Napoleon.
Yeah, Napoleon, yeah. I forgot about that.
Beetlejuice 2.
Of course, they're probably going to run that one on the ground.
Yep. And then
The new Ghostbusters is supposed to come out, but they already ran that one on the ground, so I really don't know why they're still
Wicked.
going. Oh,
Wicked. It's like the
yeah.
horror.
Isn't that the play?
Mm-mm.
Or that's a different one.
It's a different one. It's about the Wicked Witch of the West.
That's what I'm. Yeah, it's the play. Yeah, but they're
like,
making it into a movie.
Yeah, they're making it into like a horror movie.
Yeah,
Like
that's
dark.
Yeah, I think
thing.
I think they've talked about who's playing who in that, but
I haven't seen a trailer for it, but I saw the poster for it, and it's right here. But the Beekeeper has Jason
yeah,
Statham in it.
Beekeeper.
Yeah, I saw the posters for that in the
That
movie
can't
theater.
be real.
What?
I'm gonna look that up. In 2025, the Minecraft movie.
I think that's supposed. Yeah,
Is that an actual
they've
thing?
been talking about that for a long time to do a Minecraft, and I don't know if it's going to be based off of the Telltale games or if it's going to be its
Hey, the
own
Telltale
thing.
games were good.
That's what I'm saying. Is like I don't know if it's going to be based off of that or if it's going to be based off of a whole different thing.
Oh, another Marvel movie that I'm kind of looking forward to. Hopefully, they don't do anything crazy with it. But Blade.
Yeah, that
so-
I've heard that they were the first time that they wrote the script for that. I watched the video. They talked about how it wasn't even going to be about Blade. It was going to be about these 4 women characters,
Oh,
and he was just going to be in it. And then Mahershala Ali was going to back out of it because of that, because he signed on to be the main, Blade, and he was about to back out, and then now they're rewriting the script again. And that's why it's been pushed back so far, because he signed on for I don't know how many movies with Blade, so.
Oh, Godzilla and Kong.
Yeah.
And
Monarch's going to come out at some point.
Yep. The Garfield movie is coming out. But yeah, the Garfield movie.
Yeah, with Chris Pratt.
Yeah. That just doesn't.
He goes from Mario to playing Garfield. Like, I'm just like, come on, guys.
Right?
Like, what?
Some movie with Gerard Butler called Sheriff.
I swear I thought he quit doing movies.
So
I thought he quit doing movies.
that's all I got.
I mean,
he existed.
like I'm pretty sure I thought he said he was going to quit doing movies, and then he still keeps making movies that are the same exact movie, pretty much. They're the same movie.
I want to see Plane.
Yeah, I've heard about Plane. Luke Cage and guy who saves the president.
Yeah.
In all of them.
I mean, it looked pretty good, so.
Yeah. But we might do episodes on those in the future. We might even watch some old stuff that we've never seen before.
Yeah.
And we might do it. Like I said, we might do some that they've seen that I haven't, or I've seen and they haven't. Who knows?
I haven't seen a lot of things, so that would be easy on my part.
Well, we might actually watch stuff that we've seen before, but just do a thing on it and watch it again. Like me and Dawson did with the first It movie. We did that on my channel. We watched it down here and talked about it for a little bit. But yeah, we might do that a lot more. Comment down below what movies you'll want us to check out. Even if we've seen it or not, we'll watch it again.
We'll watch some horror movies.
Yeah, we'll watch some horror movies. We might get our reactions of watching them if we're here.
Yeah.
Yeah, not going to record the movie because that's illegal.
Conjuring.
Well, I've seen that. Yeah.
Recently watched like a recent scary movie.
I don't know. I've seen a lot of them.
No, like a recent scary movie we've watched. Like I think with Dad.
I'm still saying I've watched a lot of them with Dad. So
that first It movie was like the first horror thing I ever saw.
Me and my dad watch a lot of horror movies.
Yeah,
lots of them. It wasn't really scary, but you're talking about the Murder in Venice movie.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was actually really good though.
That's a part of the whole story of like murder on
the Poirot guy. Yeah.
Haunting in Venice, that's what it was called.
Death on the Nile is a good one too. Yeah. Me and Mom watched that and it was really good.
I mean, the Haunting in Venice was a good movie too. Like it actually was played out really well. Just kind of, but yeah, I wouldn't really recommend it. I don't think it's a scary movie. There's some things that's in it that's kind of like.
I feel like it was kind of random when they came out with the trailer for it, and I was like, "Where did this come from?" It's like, what?
There's a lot of movies that have been doing that here lately.
They just pop up out of nowhere. Where was that?
Imaginary Friend.
Imaginary, yeah. Golly bum. Blumhouse does that a lot. Like where
same thing with Smile.
Yeah, it just came out of nowhere. Huh?
Yeah.
Same thing with the Barbarian. And like all those
Yeah, but that's what I'm
Gosh, the
saying.
Barbarian was bizarre.
It was very weird. It was one of those like
Thank you,
weird.
Grandma!
Thank you, Grandma. It's just like a very original but weird thing, and it was funny because Blumhouse is like the king of making random stuff and then
Yeah.
just like here you go,
Here you go.
we
Yeah.
did this.
And they're good
randomly.
too.
Yeah,
They're good
Five
stunts.
Nights at Freddy's. A lot of people crapped on that.
I thought it was good.
But I
It
mean,
was really
because
good.
everybody was expecting
Markiplier.
that too, but they're
Everybody
expecting
was.
like all the animatronics to go freaking nuts and like kill everybody.
Yeah.
No, that's not
But
the point of
what makes the
They
movie great is
kill
that
some people.
Yeah.
what makes the movie great is that there's an actual story behind the people.
Mhm.
You know.
Are we still good?
It just died.
Okay, cool,
So
awesome. Well, we had 50 minutes of footage on it.
that actually saved.
It should quit recording and because it'll like stop recording like once it dies. But yeah, we got 50 minutes on the camera footage.
So we don't got a camera anymore, but we got that camera.
Yeah.
This camera.
Yeah.
I was looking at that one for help.
Yeah. Well, now you don't. Yeah, now you'll know not to look at it.
So what?
Now you know not to look at that camera anymore.
And that's actually kind of comical that I thought, let me check that.
And then it died.
It's
Yeah.
like, ta-da!
So you got a sixth sense with that. But yeah, they are. But like Malignant was the same way.
Yeah.
That one was weird, but it was great. I thought it was great. I thought it was towards the end it was very odd. But
Yeah, you know.
there's movies like that, like Ma and all that stuff. Like that's what I'm saying. Like Blumhouse is like the king of that types of things. Like let's randomly just put that out there and see if people will be like, I never heard of this beforehand.
Blumhouse.
But sometimes that's a good thing.
Mostly all horror.
And that's, I mean, we can, if to kind of relate to our stuff, Who Took Sarah was never mentioned throughout any of our videos. And then there it is. And then it's great.
Here you go, guys.
There you go.
Present for you.
Caitlyn got kidnapped.
Insidious, The Red Door.
The Exorcist, the new one.
Yeah.
That people are calling satanic. It is a demon possession.
There's something wrong with the children.
That sounds like a great title.
That just makes me think of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
I never even seen a trailer. It comes out in 2023.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids had a like slide where you slid out of the battery. I remember that.
Mhm.
And when I was a kid, I was like, why is this so big? I never understood why it was there.
The Craft was a movie by the Blumhouse.
Really?
That movie, that witch one.
Oh, Fantasy Island. That one's awful. I hated that one.
Also awful.
Five Nights at Freddy's. You Should Have Left. Upgrade. Black Phone.
Black Phone, yeah.
The Deep House.
Man, they got some weird titles.
Totally Killer.
Yeah, Totally Killer.
Freaky.
Yeah, that's Freaky Friday spin on.
I was thinking that was made by Blumhouse too, but Sinister. Sinister's really good.
Yeah.
The Hunt. Fantasy Island. I need to watch Fantasy Island.
It's not good.
Is it not?
It is not. But you should watch it anyways because it's funny to watch. Me and Mom and them watched it and it was really bad. It was funny though. Split's great. I love Split.
And Glass.
Glass is also a good one, except for the ending. The ending sucked.
Truth or Dare.
That one's awful.
Megan.
That one's funny.
The Visit.
I like that one.
Ma.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Sick. The First Purge. Happy Death Day.
Yeah.
The Lie. The Forever Purge.
Happy Death Day. Everybody just crushed over the girl that was in it.
Mm-hmm.
That's all they did for those.
The
movies.
Invisible Man.
That's a great one. That's a good one. The Invisible Man.
Get Out.
That's all. That's like the best one I think they've done. Get Out's really good.
Area 51.
Okay.
Next of Kin. Viral.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, The Green Inferno. Have you seen that movie?
I've heard about it. Yeah, I've heard about
that movie is psycho.
Yeah, I've heard about that movie.
Freaky.
Doesn't it got the Daryl Sabara in it? Yeah, that's what I thought.
Firestarter.
Yeah.
The Visitor. Ooh, Whiplash.
Oh wow.
Drum movie.
The Blumhouse produced that? That's weird. That doesn't even make any sense. You know what's hilarious is that's the next movie on my list to watch is Whiplash. I've heard about that, yeah.
Which we watched it because I was in Drumline. So
yeah, that makes sense.
Fluger made us watch.
Where he punches a hole in the
Halloween Ends.
Oh Lord.
The Boy Next Door.
That sounds great.
Prey. Which Prey is that one?
Is that the Predator one?
I think it is.
Yeah, I've heard a bunch of people like that one.
Mm-hmm. Unseen and Halloween Kills.
They've got a lot. A24
Happy
is.
Death Day 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There's a bunch of stuff.
A24's got a lot of them too, like Midsummer and Hereditary, and they do a lot of crazy ones.
A24, I love them.
Talk to Me, Bade My Raka Raka. They did that movie.
I still want to watch.
I want to watch that one too. Yeah,
let's watch it.
Okay, and there's a movie to watch for an episode. Yeah, that movie, and then what's crazy to me, what makes me I think gravitate more to that film is it's made by YouTubers that got it into
The Lighthouse.
Oh yeah, The Lighthouse. I haven't even seen that one yet.
Have you not?
No, I was going to, but I never did.
Yeah, you got A24 movies. You got Ex Machina.
That's a good one.
Yeah, is it?
Ex Machina. Yeah, it's good.
Machina, yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird word.
Moonlight. I
That's
should have said
that's
Machina because I watched Legends of.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Hereditary.
That's a messed up one.
Yeah. Lady Bird.
That's a good one.
The Witch.
I haven't seen it.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Green Room. The Lighthouse. Uncut Gems.
That's a good one.
I haven't seen it yet, but it has Adam Sandler in it.
He's good in that one. It's really good.
Everything Everywhere All at Once.
I've heard that's good.
I heard that it makes people throw up.
I've heard it's really good. It won an Oscar, so I mean.
Under the Skin.
Okay.
Room.
Oh, that's great.
Room's good.
The Florida Project.
Oh, is it the one?
We watched The Room, didn't we?
Is The Room the one with Brie Larson in it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've wanted to see that one.
That's actually really good.
Really
Never
good.
seen it. That was the movie that got her famous.
Yeah.
That movie, I think.
I was sitting here and I looked at the title.
And that little kid in it too. Yeah, the little kid in it.
The Lobster.
Oh my gosh, that I've never seen it, but I've heard it's weird.
Spring Breakers.
That's a good one.
Good Time.
I can't say that, but I watched it for certain reasons. Spring Break.
It Comes at Night.
I've heard about that one.
8th Grade.
That's a Bo Burnham movie. Mm-hmm.
First Reformed.
I've heard that's good.
Swiss Army Man.
I've heard that's weird.
Enemy.
I've heard about that one.
The Spectacular Now.
I've heard about that one too.
The Disaster Artist.
That's about The Room, the making of The Room. The old bad movie.
Yes.
Yeah, it's made of Tommy Wiseau. Yeah, that Tommy Wiseau movie.
And 20th Century Woman.
Well, they've got a lot. There's a lot of A24 artsy, fartsy.
Summer.
A24.
Oh, that wasn't even on.
Ari Aster has done. He made Hereditary, and then he made Midsummer, and then he made Beau Was Afraid with Joaquin Phoenix. And those are all A24 movies. And I've heard Beau Was Afraid is very weird, but I've heard it's also good too. So, I mean, I've wanted to see that one because, he likes to make really weird stuff. The rare Hollywood prequel that towers over the rest of its franchise. That is... What crack are you smoking? The IndieWire? IndieWire said that about the Hunger Games, the new one that we just watched. No, Catching Fire does. This one is almost there, but it's not there.
It's almost there, but not.
It's not there. But we watched that. We gave our opinions on that. We talked about a lot of other different movies that'll be coming out and ones that have already existed. Like we said before, if y'all want us to watch movies and react to them and talk about them on this show, then let us know. Talk to me. We already talked about wanting to watch that and do a little episode about that film in particular. Just sound off in the comments below. Also comment about the new set. We've got the new setup now, and tell us what you think about that, what your opinions are on the set itself. Katelynn got to be a guest on the show for the first time in 3 years, which is crazy because she was in the Red Hood episode, and that was the last time that we saw her, but she did you can technically count the trivia one because she was off camera reading those questions and learning more about me and Dawson. We've actually talked about doing another Q&A video because we haven't done one in 4 years. So we talked about
I can start making
doing
that list
that
again.
We talked about doing a personal Q&A with me and Dawson did one 4 years ago where it was we ask the same question, but it's like Dawson by himself and then me by myself. But we might just do it while we're sitting here, and doing that kind of stuff. Do like a little round table of Q&A with all of us. We could do that while we're sitting here. Stuff like that. If y'all want us to do stuff like that, let us know in the comments down below. Any film ideas, any stuff like that, let us know in the comments down below if y'all like this episode. And if you tell us your opinion, if you've seen the new Hunger Games movie, let us know in the comments down below as well.
Our dystopian world.
Yeah.
Ideas that we have.
Yeah, our dystopian little ish ideas. We might do that for an episode in the future. Because we have some. And we've done a couple, like the Drop Zone. Which we will probably react to that in the future and talk about that. But leave a like on this video if y'all like this episode. And go watch the other films that we've done. Star Wars A Fresh Start, TikTok, The Hunter, Home. All the stuff that we've done this year. Go check it out. Go check out the other episodes that we've done here on the channel. Such as the Green Dragon costume. Our D&D characters. The Kamen Rider video that almost got us canceled. Yeah, that whole entire thing that me and Dawson responded to in an episode that people still got mad about. But go watch those videos and see our stuff about that. And the most important part of this entire video is to subscribe to the Weather News Times Not channel. Hit the notification bell so you will be notified when new episodes come out of the Weather News Times Not show, when new films come out, when behind the scenes come out, all of that jazz. Because we'll be here. We're not going anywhere. We're staying right here, whether you like it or not. You can try to cancel us with a Kamen Rider, but we're still here.
Still here.
All right. My name is Trey Sparks.
I'm Dawson Mullins.
And I'm Katelynn Marchant.
We'll see you guys in the next episode of the Weather News Times Not show. Bye bye.
See ya.
Peace.